Hello, everybody. Welcome, friends. I hope you're ready to fight.
I realized just as the intro started that I don't have my phone in front of me.
Oh no. Do you want to rectify that, or are we
I'm sure it's
can
just
we make
like
it without it?
I'm sure it's just like downstairs, but I feel like I have separation anxiety, but I don't think I need it. But like I don't
Do you want to go get it?
No. I'll just randomly do it in the middle of the pod when I can't take it anymore.
Let's play a fun game called How Long Can She Last?
Yeah, I must have taken it downstairs. Like it's just plaguing me. My brain is just.
I'm so sorry. But other than that, how are you? Get a little vibe check going.
Yeah, just great. Did you see I added something to the doc for today?
I did see you added something to the document for today. I'm so proud of you. I think I know what this is about.
Yes, because we do it twice a year.
We do it twice a year. But here's the thing. Girl, the evil is defeated. The sun is setting after 7 p.m. Seasonal depression is out. Regular depression is back in. We're kind of slaying.
I know, but the fact that the time changes twice a year, regardless of which direction it's changing in,
it's bullshit.
It makes me so irrationally angry. Everything about it is stupid.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, oh, good. It's the, semi-annual changing of all these freaking clocks that aren't internet connected in my home, like my oven and my microwave. And then I'll miss one somewhere. I'll miss one somewhere and then have several panic attacks thinking I am early for something or late for something.
And you do hate to see it.
And it's hard to adjust. Like, I feel like I'm always tired. Like, yeah, especially losing an hour at this time of year. Like,
I mean, I'm always tired regardless. So, like, does the flavor of tired really matter?
It does, because it doesn't need to happen this way.
Okay, valid.
It's like, yeah, it gets dark earlier in the fall, but at least we get an extra hour.
Mm-hmm.
But this, like, I feel like I've really lost something, you know? And I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm still confused. It's been a whole week, and I'm still confused. No, it hasn't been a week. What day is this?
Girl, it's Wednesday.
Exactly.
So she's proving her own point.
Like 4 days, right? Because it's technically Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, so 3 days. 3 days.
Inconveniences aside, though, I prefer this so much.
Well, then make it permanent. That's all I'm saying.
Which is what, please, I'm begging you. Whoever is in charge, just make daylight savings time permanent. It's so much better.
We have this part of the conversation twice a year.
We have this part of the conversation twice every single year, and we will continue to have it until they fucking fix the problem.
Can you imagine if they ever actually do, like it actually gets passed? We'll have like an emergency live stream to celebrate.
Yes, we will.
Come party with us. The time doesn't have to change anymore and confuse us.
Hell yes.
Been on this planet for like 4 decades, and I still can't.
Do you have anything else going on before I get into a little something? Because I'm chilling, but I have a rant.
I did see that. I do want to mention My class yesterday got fully derailed because someone said the word anime.
The floor is yours.
And that just, yeah, no, it was completely because we were talking about how like sometimes your perception of media can change. And there was this girl who raised her hand, and she was like, "Oh yeah, like I used to think anime was like weird and stupid, and I never wanted to watch it. But then I started watching Black Clover, and I was like."
What did you say?
I have watched that in its entirety twice.
We need a giant flashing sign that just says like weeb.
Yeah. And then of course, yeah, right. And so then another student in the class that I've talked with about anime before, and he was like, yeah, some people have a hard time getting into it, but like my girlfriend likes what was it, Dr. Stone and One Piece. And I was like, I'm in the middle of One Piece right now. And he's like, oh yeah, what episode? And I was like, yeah, like 207 or something, which that's a preview for the worsening. But he was like, oh, is that like where they're in Alabasta? I'm like, oh no, it's way back. Like got into this whole thing.
I love that.
What are we even talking about? So I brought up, I don't know how many different anime series in a span of like 3 minutes.
I love that your brand is becoming like weeb professor.
Yeah.
It's kind of delightful.
But it was hilarious because I could not get back on track because all I wanted to do was like, class is canceled. If you want to talk about anime, stay here and we'll just chat.
Do that because like at the end of the semester.
Yeah, I could not get my mind back on stuff because I'm like, man, like I enjoy Dr. Stone. I've never met anybody who's seen it before. I didn't know he had seen it. And I was like, oh, can we talk about it? I don't know anybody who's seen most of them, you know? And so it's like, I want to talk to them, but I have to like teach a class or something.
Ugh, lame. A tragedy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a rant. And this is probably similar to things I've ranted about before, but I want to talk about the movie going experience for just a second here. The other day, I went to a screening of Blue Velvet, the David Lynch film, because my local indie theater is doing like a whole month retrospective in honor of the man himself, which is lovely. And Kyle and I are going to go see a bunch of them. We've seen 2 so far. But and I know that like currently we have problems with like people fucking using their phones at the movies and shit and like all that. We didn't even have that problem at the screening, for which I was very thankful for. Like that was nice. But we have a problem, I think. There is like a society-wide epidemic of like this inability to engage with art seriously. Like everything has to be done with this layer of irony. Like this happened multiple times during Blue Velvet, and I've heard other people talk about having similar experiences with other movies, which I'll get to. People need to stop fucking laughing at shit that isn't funny in movies. Like there were multiple instances where like, and I've seen this, there was an example on Twitter where somebody was talking about like they went to go see Nosferatu, and in some of the scenes where like where Ellen, Lily Rose Depp's character, is having her like, you know, fucking prophetic visions that are essentially seizures, like people were laughing.
Why?
And this is like one of the things that happened during the screening of Blue Velvet that I was at. It's like there are a couple points where Laura Dern is in it, and there's a couple points where her character receives some devastating news and she is extremely upset. So like people will laugh because a character is on screen and they like are supposed to be like sobbing in agony and they like make an awkward face. So people are like, haha. Like we need to stop engaging with everything with this layer of like irony and not taking it seriously and just like immediately like looking for something you can laugh at because you can't, like, because you don't want to. I don't even know what it is. I don't know what people are like defending themselves from with this sort of like the shield of haha, it's funny when it fucking isn't. I don't know. I'm probably not articulating this as well as I possibly could be, but it really grinds my gears.
I know what you're talking about, and I'm glad you said grinds my gears because you do sound like a crotchety old man a
It
little bit.
grinds the
But
fuck out of my gears, bestie. So you know
I
what I
know,
mean, though, right?
But random side bit, I had a professor in grad school who used to say, "You know what really burns my ass? A flame about this high." But anyway,
oh, I like that.
He's one of those guys who would use the same phrases and tell the same stories all the time. But anyway, that's what that made me think of. No, I mean, I totally get what you mean. I don't know if it's like they're trying to be cool, but like, why would you?
I think that's part of it. Like it's one. Yes, there's an epidemic of anti-intellectualism enveloping this country, and there's a further epidemic of like, again, just this unwillingness to engage with art seriously. Like everything has to be a joke. Everything has to be funny. It's cool not to care, which I think is such bullshit.
I think a lot of that comes just like from the internet and meme culture. You know, because like,
and I think that definitely is kind of a problem. Everyone always looking for like the next reaction image.
Yeah.
Like it has to come organically. Otherwise, one, the meme isn't funny.
If somebody's like writhing in agony, like you said, and makes a funny face, like, oh yeah, we can screenshot that and then like make a, you know.
And I'm not even saying, and I'm not saying stop memeing things because no, that's ridiculous. But like, can we remove this layer of this lens of irony through which we have to interact with fucking everything?
Yeah, no, I think it's just changed the way people see stuff though. Like they see it in meme form, essentially. Like what? Because they want to.
Hearing that people were laughing at Nosferatu pissed me the fuck off, man.
Yeah.
And we're going to go see Twin Peaks: Fire Walk with Me. That's like the next thing we're seeing. If anyone tries to pull any funny bullshit, I will stand up in the theater and make a fucking scene.
There will definitely be laughing.
Fucking morons. I'm really hoping that we're going to be safe from that because who's going to go see the Twin Peaks movie other than people who already fucking love Twin Peaks?
Well, that's what I was going to say before. Like, who would go see any David Lynch movie, including Blue Velvet?
And here's my, I swear to God, the two people sitting in front of us were like watching their first David Lynch movie because like this girl who was in front of them, like she was one of the ones who kept laughing. And I was like, what are we doing? What are we fucking doing? And like, I get it. I really, truly do get the whole like David Lynch not being for everybody thing. Like, that's fine. But also, like, you're in a theater. Shut up. It's not a comedy.
I was going to say, at the very least, do that at home.
Yeah, do it at home.
Yeah, at least don't bother other people with it.
I gotta say, Kyle said the funniest thing when we were walking out of our Eraserhead screening, which, by the way, people were better behaved at a screening of Eraserhead. Which, that movie, upon like a fifth viewing for me, it has such a wonderfully odd sense of humor to it. So like there are genuinely funny moments to Eraserhead of all things. But like Kyle said, I hope someone there was watching that for the first time. Because I cannot fucking imagine what that would be like. Like you go to your local indie theater because like, oh, they're doing a salute to this great American director whom I'm not really familiar with. Oh boy, this will be fun. And then you watch that. What the hell is wrong with people?
Masterpiece.
No, I love The Big Lebowski. One of my favorite random activities that we ever did was watch The Big Lebowski while on edibles, and then you ordered a pizza to my apartment at like midnight, and it wasn't even good pizza. It was terrible, but it was pizza. It was pizza, and I stood there. You sat at the table while I stood in the corner with a blanket over my shoulders like a cape, with a slice of pizza in hand, no plate, no nothing, while you like sat at the table with a plate like a normal human being.
A little pizza gremlin.
Yeah, I was just in the corner like, it was great.
Yeah.
But I really hope people fucking behave themselves during Twin Peaks. Otherwise, I'm going to be a problem.
Yeah, I think unfortunately that's one of those movies that if it's not your thing has a lot of moments that they'll find laughable, you know, like.
And I'm really hoping the fact that Twin Peaks already has to be your thing for that movie to even make any sense is going to hopefully insulate me from a potential incident.
Yeah, there'd be no point in seeing it if you hadn't seen Twin Peaks already. And
yeah.
yeah. Or maybe they just don't know that. I don't know.
I don't know. But so that's my rant. People need to stop trying to be cool by not caring and thinking everything's a fucking joke, because it's not. And we are in an epidemic of anti-intellectualism and anti-curiosity and
So true.
just all these awful things. So let's push back against that, people. Let's make sincerity cool again.
Yeah. No, especially working in the field that I do. It's like people are so against like too much thinking, or like
No,
they're like, oh, those are fancy ideas. It's like, no, those are just reasonable
this shit
thoughts.
me the fuck off so much. There was some like film news outlet that was interviewing celebrities on the red carpet, like asking people what their favorite movies are. And I think it was Austin Butler or whatever. And he said his favorite movie was The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And this was like just a little TikTok clip. So you could see like, oh, this person's favorite movie, this person's favorite movie. Like, that's fun. But somebody stitched it and said, why can't you just like be normal and say Toy Story? Because he was talking about how he like watched The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly when he was a kid and he really liked it. And somebody stitched it, was like, why can't you just say like Toy Story or whatever? I'm like, what are you fucking talking about, you little shit? I'm being stoned tonight, but it's like deserved, I think.
Yeah, no. I referring back to what I was saying about talking about anime in class yesterday. I had mentioned that up until like, what was that, 3-4 years ago we did Banana Fish? I don't remember.
That sounds about right.
But I was like, yeah, up until like 3-4 years ago, I never really watched anime because there was kind of like a stigma around it growing up. It was like for boys and not for girls, and it was really for the weirdos.
Also, can I just take 1 second to say about The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly? People are acting like, oh, why on earth would like a 10-year-old have seen this movie? Like, one, people have parents that show them movies, and two, what fucking 10-year-old boy doesn't think cowboys and guns and horses and shit are cool?
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
I don't know. But yeah, I told them I hadn't watched any before that because it had always been sort of like stigmatized in my mind. And I saw one of my students go, it still is, it's for weirdos. I was like, you say that like I'm supposed to be ashamed of the things that I like.
I don't like your fucking attitude.
I was like, I don't care. I like what I like. I am, an almost 40-year-old woman and I enjoy watching anime series.
As is your God-given right.
What? It's like I'm supposed to be ashamed or like, but I feel like she was saying it in that way of like, oh, like, the sort of, this is what everybody's supposed to act like they're better or that like higher than, or,
Yeah,
I'm not putting that into words.
I hate this. I hate the whole like, oh, you have to do this to be cool, and liking enthusiasm being lame. It's always, especially as a person who like was bullied for like being a very enthusiastic person, it pisses me the fuck off, man. I hate it. Yeah. I hate how like, can we make enthusiasm cool? Can we make bullying cringe? Why is it the opposite?
Yeah. No, it's funny. One of my favorite things is when I say something and people act like I'm supposed to be embarrassed of it or something, and I just
like what?
Say it more loudly.
Try and stop me.
Nobody would ever like this thing. I'm like, I enjoy it. I do it all the time. And they just
what
look
about
at me like, I don't know how to react to that because you're not supposed to admit it.
And that is how you make people uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't care. The look on that student's face was funny when I was like, yeah, no, I don't care if there is a stigma around it.
What about it?
She was just like,
I cannot imagine living like that, like caring that much about what other people think of you. Yeah. And I mean, like, not that I'm immune to ever feeling that way, because I'm not. Like, everybody wants to be liked and accepted and, find their community. Yeah. That's just like an inbuilt part of human nature. But I can't imagine giving that much of a shit about what every other person thinks about me.
Unless you're in like middle school.
Which, like, middle school is fucking horrific, and you don't know how to
Yeah,
be a
it's
person,
hell.
but everyone expects so much of you. It's a horrible time for everybody, so whatever mistakes you make
Worst time
during
in
middle school,
existence.
you get a fucking free pass as far as I'm concerned.
Yep. I feel like we've had this conversation on the pod many times.
Oh,
How
100%.
much middle school sucks. Sixth grade is the worst.
Oh, it's horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. I peaked in 5th grade.
That was the last like innocent year in a lot of ways.
Wasn't it great? Wasn't
Yeah.
it fucking awesome? Anyway, yeah, I can't imagine caring that much.
No.
Cannot wrap my
Absolutely
head
not.
around it.
Nope. That's no fun.
So we got anything else to say about the movie going experience, or the horrible tide of fascism that is creeping in all aspects of our culture?
I don't think so.
Fair enough. First actual bullet point I have for us to talk about, other than the rant, is what mythical creature do we think would improve the world most if it actually existed?
Are we talking like the primary mythical creatures, like that everybody knows, or can they be like obscure mythical creatures?
You can get obscure with it.
I don't know why I asked that like I had an obscure one, but
and you got me all excited, goddammit.
Well, because I was just thinking about like certain fandoms and stuff will have mythical creatures that have like special healing powers and stuff like that. I just can't think of any, you know?
Yeah. All I'm thinking of, well, no. That's immortality, but it's shitty immortality. Unicorns from Harry Potter, where it's like,
oh yeah,
unicorn blood gives you shitty immortality that like sucks.
Yeah.
So not that, but also, I mean, unicorns existing would be kind of dope, just cause. And also,
yeah,
honestly, like there are things in this world that have a single horn. Why is the idea of a horse with a horn all that weird? Anyway.
Oh, a Pegasus would be cool.
A Pegasus would
fly on a
rock, because you could fly on it. That would be baller.
Pegasus. That's my answer. If we could domesticate them, a griffin would be cool.
A griffin would be sick.
Because then you'd have like a big pet cat that can fly.
That can fly. That is. I'm trying to think of something that would be genuinely useful.
Yeah. Flying is useful.
Flying is useful. It's also extremely fun, but I'm trying to think of something that would be like a genuine, like, not just like, this would be fun and cool, that would be like a net good for society. I feel like there has to be something.
Yeah.
Wait, a phoenix! If we're going by the Harry Potter rules, phoenix tears, they can heal any wound.
Ah, that's true.
That's pretty sick.
It is true.
That would help.
Yeah. This keeps coming back to Harry Potter.
Yeah, which I try not to talk about because of what happened with that person. You hate to see it anyway.
Yep.
We are meant to be a distraction from the horrors, not a show about them.
Yes. We are anti the horrors.
Anti the horrors. Boom, another tagline. Again, my mind just keeps going to shit that would be cool. I'm trying to find an application for like a sphinx or something, or like there's got to be some guardian critter that's like is there something that only lets you pass by if you tell the truth or whatever? Because make that a judge.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like most of the like mythical creatures that I can think of fit into one of two categories. There's like cool, but not really substantially improving the world, or very dangerous.
Yeah.
Like dragons or
yeah.
Although if I could, I would like to have Falcor the Luck Dragon from Neverending Story.
That would be awesome.
Him I would take. But
you were at the Saratoga Comic-Con where somebody cosplayed the Childlike Empress, right? And they had the
and they had the giant Falcor,
That was sick.
That was super cool.
Yeah, a luck dragon would be banger.
Yeah, but dragons in general, my mind keeps going to like cryptids too, which I sort of count.
They're mythological. I'm gonna
Like
say that's allowed.
chupacabras, or
That's just another predator.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the latter category.
Yeah, that is the
Cool, but
problem.
not super useful or dangerous. Those are the two categories.
Man, I was not expecting to run into this problem as much as we are, but there you
Yeah.
have it.
And I did look at the question in advance and try to think about it, but
No, I know, and I tried to think about it too. The only thing I was like, yeah, you could have shitty immortality. There's got to be something else out there.
I'm sure there
trying to
are.
think
And
back
again,
to my.
I feel like yeah, I feel like there's a lot of obscure like franchises and things that will have interesting creatures.
If
Like
anyone who's watching can think of anything, please let us know.
Because again, it'd be cool for Ents to be real from Lord of the Rings. I'd like a talking tree, hang out with it.
That'd rock.
But wouldn't really change
maybe
things.
that would be great for conservation though.
Oh, maybe.
Have like like forest ambassadors be like, please protect the trees that are actual trees.
Yeah, hired Ent government.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that's not nothing.
Okay. Yeah. Talking mobile trees. I dig it.
I'm here for it. This is one I really want to reveal just because it's basically a T-Rex. Can we get that screen shared? Because now I'm curious.
On the links in the comments.
Unfortunately, I wish we could. That would be a fun feature. Oh, sweet.
Nice. It looks like a goose.
Bonosaur.
Australian dinosaur cryptid.
Cool. All right.
Interesting.
I'm here for it.
Yeah. Ooh.
Very cool.
Yeah.
There's got to be something else.
I am racking my brain because, again, I can think of cool ones, just not.
I know, I can think of cool ones.
But I feel like there has to have been like a TV series or a movie or books or something like that where there has been some sort of creature that is like highly prized because it does something. People are pursuing it.
There has to be.
I mean, not to kill it and take whatever.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I know precisely what you mean. I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like I keep scanning. There's got to be something from fucking Doctor Who, man.
Yeah.
There's so much.
Yeah. Anything that involves aliens or creatures is probably going to have something useful, but I know there's got to be something from some anime series or another that I've watched. But I cannot think of them.
A tragedy.
Some weird creatures in One Piece.
I believe it. Would we like to move on in that case? Or do we want to keep trying to come up with something?
Yeah, I don't know that we're going to come up with anything.
Yeah. I feel like there has to be some creature out there that makes you tell the truth, but nothing's coming to mind. But if we have that, we could make that some form of lawyer or perhaps a judge.
Here's what we do. We go into the labyrinth from Labyrinth.
We figure out them always tells the truth.
Yes. One of us always tells the truth and one of us always lies. We find the one that tells the truth and we make that real.
There we go. That'll work.
Because that's what I kept hearing in my head every time you said like something that always tells the truth. So one of us always tells the truth and one of us always
lies. But yeah, let's move on. So the last thing I have is something I saw on Reddit the other day. And this was asked more in the sense of like romantic relationships. So I'm editing it a little bit. What are some small green flags in a friend / partner? So we have both platonic and romantic.
Yeah. Things you notice in a person that are like, hey, that's great.
I'm gonna go right off the bat and harken back to the earlier part of this episode. Sincerity.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Not
that
being
is
afraid to like a thing.
That's honestly not even a small green flag. That's kind of a massive green flag for me. But I think it's like it's a small thing that is a huge green flag. And also, I thought some of the ones in this example were absolutely delightful. So I'm gonna read some of these out loud. This person is talking about their partner. So I'll go first. Cannot watch certain movie scenes or even entire movies where a male character lies to his girlfriend. He says it's too awkward and painful to watch. That's super sweet. Always gives some of his food to the homeless on his way home. Hell yes. And I'm also looking at the rest of the comments to see if there's anything particularly interesting. Rescues frogs and lizards he sees when he mows the grass. Oh,
one of my favorite comments is one of the first ones on there that like make sure you're hydrated.
That's so sweet.
Like that's so nice. Like, oh, you're right. I did forget to drink water. Like, thank you for noticing a thing about myself that I wasn't even noticing.
Absolutely adorable. Yeah, these are delightful. Any form of sincerity, love seeing that in a person. Anybody who also does, this is like a tiny green flag for me. If you do a little dancey dance when you're eating something that you really like, as a person who
both of us do,
as a person who does that, that's how I know I found one of my people. We're at a really smack ass restaurant and start boogieing a little bit.
It's like a little wiggle that I do.
Yeah, a little shimmy. Give it a little shimmy. So that's a green flag.
Yeah. I think anything that that shows that they are thinking about you and your needs. That's why I like the hydration one. And I believe one of the ones mentioned by the OP was like bringing you little gifts just because they saw a thing and thought of you.
Anything that makes me cognizant of the fact that you think about me when I'm not in the room.
Yes.
Huge green flag.
Yeah. It's like, you remembered that I existed when I wasn't
about me?
You?
Me? Yeah. That's precisely the feeling. It's like, you thought about me?
It could literally be like, I saw this flower that's technically a weed that I thought you would think it's pretty, so I brought it to you. Okay,
hell yes.
This beautiful weed.
Yeah, that's a huge green flag. I'm trying to think of other like tiny ones. Oh, if you wear Docs, you're probably cool.
Sure.
I don't know.
I don't pay attention to people's shoes that much.
I don't really, but I see a lot of chill people wearing Docs, so
sure. Yeah, I think a lot of it is I mean, the major thing I've always gone based on, well, two major things that I've always based things on. How you treat people who are serving you in some capacity.
Oh, yeah. If you're a good tipper, green flag.
Yeah. If you're like actually, polite to servers and, forgiving if they make mistakes, like that sort of thing.
Yep.
And the other is how they talk about and treat animals. Because like I think again one of the things that the person had listed out was like their first conversation was about reptiles and owning a caiman together.
Aw, that is adorable.
and it's like, to me that's a green flag if somebody knows I have a snake, or two snakes now at this point, but if somebody is aware that I am a snake owner, and their first reaction isn't like, ugh, but it's like,
not disgust.
That's so cool.
If you're cool with reptiles, that's a green flag for me.
or at the very least, if they're like, well, I've never really, been into them or spent time with them.
Yeah, cool not to be like, maybe if you're a little like creeped out, but if you're not a dick about when you learn that someone has a reptile, maybe you're like, oh, I might be a little scared of that. Like, we can work with that. We can talk.
Yeah, I think it's the general open-mindedness where it's like, there's this thing I've never really liked, but I would at least, because that's one of the things that drives me crazy about people is they get convinced they don't like a thing, and then they refuse to ever try it or consider it again. They're like, nope, I closed that book. Like, we're done. And it's, no, you at least try occasionally. Your tastes change, your attitudes change. You know. So anybody who's open-minded and willing to try new things, even things they think they don't like.
Yeah. Oh, this is such a small thing. Anybody who only refers to pets as it, red flag.
Oh, well, yeah.
Don't like that.
Indicating they don't think of them as like individuals. They're just things.
Yeah, bad. So there's a small red flag. If they refuse to ever refer to pets as it, green flag.
Yeah. It just made me laugh because one of the things I often say to the cats is like, I'll be like, oh, did you want pets? And then like the cat runs away because, you know, cats do that. And I'll say, okay, that's okay. I respect you as a kitty and as an individual. I say that to them all the time.
My boy knows that he doesn't get respect, but he doesn't care. He's too stupid to even want it.
Yeah, no, but I always tell them
Just
out loud
kidding.
that I respect, cats, but as individuals.
I do respect him, but he does frequently get manhandled. But he purrs the entire time, so I think he's okay with it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I treat them like little people in a lot of ways.
Oh, if I treated him like a little person, we would have problems in this house.
Yeah, that would be assault.
Yeah.
Like butt bongos.
Hey, you know, but when he runs away, I don't follow.
Yeah.
And frankly, he harasses me, so it's mutual.
I was about to say, technically, my cats kind of abuse me when Luna tries to like climb all over me. Her thing recently has been because she asks to be picked up, and so I'll pick her up, and then she'll just kind of like sling herself over my shoulder and dangle.
Yeah. One of his things used to be attempting to wake me up by biting my septum. Specifically.
I give you a piercing.
And this was not an isolated incident. This happened multiple times. So, you know what? That's the reason why I harass him, because he harasses me right back. You've seen him. You know how this works.
Yeah. Yeah, no, my relationship is abusive in one direction. Where the cats abuse me.
We abuse each other lovingly.
Yeah, no, all these little claw marks and stuff because Luna doesn't understand that there's skin underneath my clothing.
Having any sort of funky little ritual with your pet where they like do something stupid and you do something stupid right back, there's a green flag.
I don't remember this wasn't last week, this week before, whenever we were talking about whimsical habits.
Yeah, if you have little whimsical habits, that's a green flag.
Yeah, just like cute little things that they say or do.
Like one of Kyle's things is, because he always gets up before me and he's told me about this, is that whenever he's staying over here and he gets up in the morning before me, he turns on one of the lamps in the bedroom just so he can like see what he's doing or whatever. And every time Oliver will be like sleeping at the foot of the bed and he'll like, you know, the light will come on and he'll do the cat like the face. So he goes over and he covers his eyes every morning, and that's a massive green flag. That's adorable. I love it.
He's a sensitive boy, that gremlin.
He's a very sensitive little goblin.
Yeah.
So if you have a fun little habit / ritual or any sort of whimsical habit, especially with a pet, green flag.
Yeah, I think even just weird habits that I can make fun of lovingly is good. You know?
Yep, absolutely.
Which, I mean, because again, we're talking about all kinds of relationships, you know, not
just not like necessarily just a partner.
Yeah, because like even in our case, we mock each other for weird eating habits.
Oh yeah.
And that's fun. I like being able to mock you for eating dry ramen, and you can make fun of me for eating around the outside of my sandwiches.
It's love the crunch, okay? It's tasty.
Defensive.
Shut up. Didn't ask.
See, it's fun.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else though.
I think part of that is because, like, you know, you probably have your own weird little things and it's good for the other person. Like, it's so disappointing when somebody doesn't have weird things you can watch.
When someone's
like,
too normal, that's a red flag.
Yeah. I don't like it. I don't like it.
No, you need
There's
to be a
something wrong
freak
with
like
you. You're
me.
boring. Yeah. Yeah, no, and oh, I had another one and then I forgot what it was already.
God damn it.
Oh, this has come up before, I think, in some context or another, but you have like some opposing food tastes, so you can trade.
The pickle friend.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. We talked about it with the pickle friend.
Yeah,
Was that
having
for
a
episode
pickle
200
friend.
of Maddie was here?
Yes. Yes, I think so. Yeah, having something that makes you like being the pickle friend or being the like the whatever friend who like you give whatever food you don't like to, that's great.
Yeah. Like, I know a lot of people don't like mushrooms, but I've always loved mushrooms. Like, I used to eat jars of mushrooms as a kid.
Oh, I've seen this.
Yeah.
I've seen you eat a little tiny can of mushrooms, and it was one of the weirdest fucking things I've ever witnessed in my life.
I do that still occasionally. But like, so a lot of people in like my family and stuff know that. So if they don't like their mushrooms and they get something that has them on them, they just automatically, like when the food comes, they just pick them out and put them on my plate.
That's always the best when you don't even have to ask. Someone just gives you the thing that you like, but they don't. Mwah.
Yeah, which is fantastic because I pretty much don't really dislike anything. And so anything anybody else dislikes, I could eat.
I love that for you.
What, you don't want your olives? I'll take those olives. Because that's a divisive one.
And for what? Fucking love olives, man.
I know.
All right. Would we like to get into the worsening unless we want to go through some more comments or have anything else to say?
No.
All right, yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Begin the meditation.
Yeah. Let's do it.
You are without doubt the worst pirate I've ever heard of.
Listen, cue ball, you're only making it worse.
Thanks, that even makes it worse.
It's worse than you know.
It usually is.
I think that's the worst thing I've ever heard.
That's the worst goodbye I've ever heard. And you stole it from a movie.
How marvelous.
What do you got for me, Bestie?
Do I start big and work my way down, or start small and then work my way up?
You know what? Let's start small. Save it. Build to that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I would just say it is the anime. I continue to watch One Piece. I'm making a dent. I'm 200 and something in now.
I'm impressed.
I don't know where exactly. Yeah, so I mean it's pretty good, but I realized like the nice thing about anime and why I tend to watch it so much is because there are these super long series, and so when I sit down and I want to watch something, like I don't have to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I just turn on whatever anime I'm in the middle of, and I can let it go for as long as I want, right? Because they're in like these 20-minute episodes, and I don't care if I stop in the middle of one. It's beautiful. And
well,
that's
there you
how I
go.
get so many of them. Yeah, it's nice. But that's I would say that's the small one. I thought I had something else and I forgot what it was, other than the major thing. I don't remember.
Tragic. Well, if you do, we'll come back to it.
Okay.
So what have you done?
I bought a new controller.
For what?
For using on my PC.
I love that for you. That's not that bad.
It's a Razer Wolverine V3 Pro.
I take it back.
It's a $200 controller.
You fucker. All right, yeah.
To be fair,
okay. I get it.
To be fair, I had $50 in reward certificates for Best Buy from when I bought my Ally like a month or so ago. So I really only paid $150 for it, but like you can feel the difference. like it just feels so much nicer. The buttons, it has Hall effect, joysticks and these like super responsive clicky buttons and
I
programmable
will say,
paddles.
it's not quite as fancy, but I do love my fucking Turtle Beach controller. She is nice.
Yeah, I did so much research like for months at this point trying to decide. And it was kind of spur of the moment today. But yeah, I'm real excited. Of course, the first thing I did when I got home was like, oh, I got to connect it, and test it out. And then I was sitting here like playing, and then I was like, wait, what time is it?
What were you playing?
Skyrim.
Nice.
Yeah.
Skyrim is great with a fucking controller, man.
Yeah, these paddle buttons on the back are wild. I've never had ones like this exactly. But yeah, it was actually really funny yesterday because my stepdad was here and he asked me if I'd gotten any new electronics since the last time he was here, because I do have a tendency to do that. And so I told him about my ROG Ally X and showed it to him, and he was like, how much did that run you? I was like, well, it was a little pricey. And he's like more than the Switch? Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Way more than the Switch. But he wanted to see what it was like, so I showed him a couple of games on it. So I showed him Skyrim, and then I showed him Untitled Goose Game.
Nice.
What a weird combo. And he was surprisingly like into watching me Untitled Goose Game for a few minutes.
I love Untitled Goose Game. We should do that on the stream.
Go steal that thing.
You can do multiplayer.
Yeah, I was just like honking at a child repeatedly to scare him, and I was laughing. Because I was trying to explain to him the point of the game. The tagline, it's a lovely morning in the village.
And you're a horrible goose.
Yeah, and I was like, that's the whole thing. I don't understand. I'm like, no, let me show you. Let me go terrorize some people.
There's nothing to understand. It's a lovely morning in the village, and you're a horrible goose.
Yeah. And his reaction, and this goes more toward my general just worsening as a human, but his reaction to all this was, when do you sleep? Between like all of these video games you play, 3D printing and the knitting, and he's just listening. I'm like, that's an excellent question. And he just stared at me. He's like, you didn't answer the question. I'm like,
you have it.
I'm gonna answer for you, bud. And I was like, you know what? You're so right. Yeah. So at this point now, my setup here is getting between my giant monitor and...
Oh, I can't wait to come over again sometime. I gotta see all this stuff.
The replacement hard drive that I put in this laptop is like... They told me that I went above and beyond. I knew that I did, but like Skyrim, like when I'm like going into a place and it has like, the loading screen with like the information.
It has no time to even load.
I've never been able to read a single thing on those screens. Like
my PC does the exact same thing now that I have
fast.
Ever since I got the new fucking solid state drive.
Yeah. I got this real fancy, like cutting edge new technology. I don't remember what it was called now at this point. But it's like so fast.
Yep.
So between that, my giant monitor, my fancy controller.
Between the fresh motherboard and CPU, mwah, she runs beautiful.
Yeah. No, this situation has gotten ridiculous at this point, but
I absolutely love that for you.
Yeah, so I'd say that's how I'm worse. I didn't get to eat because I was testing out the controller, but I'll probably,
so proud,
eat food and then use it more today.
Love it.
Yeah, so I would say that's the primary way.
Wonderful. Girl, as if the ghost thing wasn't bad enough.
Mm-hmm.
Sleep Token is now also active.
In what sense?
In the sense that they're saying to prepare for a new offering and making cryptic social media posts, and venues are changing their profile pictures to artwork that they released recently. So things are happening there too, which is
That's nice.
currently making me worse and going to make me worse in the future, because if they're dropping another album, if they're touring again, holy shit. So
That's
there's
exciting.
that, which is very exciting. I continue to play Minecraft.
Okay.
Fucking shocker. And
Mhm.
one of the interesting ways that I've gotten worse recently is that I've started practicing screaming in my car on the way to work in the mornings. So now I just drive to my job just making inhuman noises the entire time while I listen to music.
So you can look fully unhinged when people look, like you're just in your car screaming.
I'm still really not that good at it, but hopefully we'll get there someday.
Yeah, it takes practice.
And I'm very bad at practicing things, but for whatever reason, the solitude of my car in the morning removes some of the "you shouldn't do this unless you're already good at it" type issues that I have.
Maybe because it's just helping you pass the time on the drive.
That,
so
and
it's not
also,
like,
maybe I'm not awake enough yet to feel shame.
Oh. Yeah, maybe.
And maybe that's the secret.
Yeah. You got to do things. That's why I always say that sometimes when I work from home, I get up and I start working immediately. Like I don't even bother showering first, because if I have time to think about it, I won't want to start working.
Yep. You got to trick your brain.
Makes it
Do it
harder.
fast.
I was like, I can't if I let myself wake up all the way, so I just got to go. And then eventually I'll be like, oh, it's like 11. I guess I'll take a shower and have some lunch and then get back to work.
So those are definitely some ways that I'm worse. And I'm trying to think if I have anything else. But nothing immediately springs to mind, but that doesn't mean I'm not forgetting something.
Yeah. Yeah, there's pretty much always things. It was kind of funny too. So I had mentioned on the pod previously that my stepdad got a Nintendo Switch for Christmas, and I
love that.
had bought him Animal Crossing. And,
oh my god, is he a fan?
He's been trying to make progress in it.
Aww.
And he's constantly like asking me how to do things. And so when he was here yesterday, he brought his Switch and put it in the dock and was like, can you do some things for me? Because I can't figure this out.
Oh my god, I love that.
He could not for the life of him figure out how to get a slingshot, even though I told him how to do it. And so he had to leave like in a hurry this morning and didn't get to shower. He's like, so he took a shower here and he's like, all right, well, I'm in the shower, you do some stuff. And so like by the time he came back down, I was like, all right, so I got you the slingshot recipe. You learned it. You made a slingshot. I did. I was like listing out, and I was like, also I plan to do a money tree. And he's like, a what?
Hey, nice.
Yeah. So I taught him a whole bunch of things, and he was just like, how do you know stuff? I'm like, you just have to do it, man. Yeah. Like he missed things because he wasn't paying attention. Like he didn't know that there was a second page of wares that Timmy was selling, and that's why he didn't know there were recipes for sale, like stuff like that. But it was pretty funny, and that's a way that I've contributed to the worsening of another human recently.
Incredible. Nicely done.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about it.
And I think a way that I'm going to be worse now that the weather's getting nicer, girl, I'm going to be back on my cycling bullshit. Were you saying something? I feel like I just interrupted you.
No. I was distracted by this here void.
Wonderful.
This weekend is ToraCon.
Exciting.
The Anime Fest at RIT, the Rochester Institute of Technology. And it's funny because my like various apps with pictures have been pulling up memories of when we went 2 years ago.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that was just 2 years ago. And we did our Death Note group cosplay, and then the over the garden wall.
We did 2 group cosplays. We had it on lock that weekend.
Yeah, and it was just kind of.
If nothing else, we should totally do the over the garden wall again, because that got a really good response.
Mm-hmm. Oh, people love that one, because I don't think it's a very common one, but people love it. So yeah, but it's just kind of funny seeing some of those pictures. But I'm definitely gonna go this weekend, but they only have full weekend passes available still at this point, so I gotta Get the full
Oh
weekend.
no.
Yeah. Well, my foot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Godspeed.
We'll see how much I can tolerate. But it's only like 2 miles away, so at least
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I did not end up going to that toy festival last weekend
Oh no.
because I was on their website and I was like, man, this looks familiar. And I looked up the website for the toy festival that I went to, I think it was like January, February, whatever it was.
Is it the same people?
They were like the exact same website, just with like different names and dates, like same pictures and everything.
Jeez.
I was like, you know what? Nope.
No thanks.
That one was not worth my time or money. I'm not driving, an hour to Niagara Falls to do the same thing.
Yeah,
So that was a little
understandable.
disappointing. But we are getting into some of the early cons, because ToraCon, and then a couple weeks after that will be Retro Nerd Fest.
Exciting. I have to figure out what cosplay I'm doing for that. But that's a way that I'm worse. I'm currently in the process of putting together like 2 cosplays at once. So
Nice. Yeah, I've been starting to think about cosplays, knowing that con season is around the corner.
hell yes. Any front runners?
I have several thoughts is the problem.
Okay.
But
yes, everybody, look at this.
Yes. Yeah,
Important things.
I found a cosplay that I was thinking about buying from the same website I bought from before for Hell's Paradise one. But I also just rediscovered the dude sweater that I started knitting like a year ago.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I had forgotten too, and I was like, "What's in this knitting?"
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so maybe
Cozy one.
I probably wouldn't finish it in time, just because the Loaf Cat army continues to grow. But
Oh, there's a way you're worse.
yeah, you know what? And it's real depressing because I can't get those green eyes that I was using for the voids anymore because they were Joanne brand.
Oh, fucker. That sucks.
And I officially have used my last pair. So I've been trying to find something comparable, but I can't. The problem is when you buy safety eyes online, they always come in these packs of like a whole bunch of colors and a whole bunch of sizes. And it's like, I don't need all of that.
This is not what I need.
The one size and color I need, there's like 10 of out of 250 pieces.
You hate to see it.
Or in the rare cases where I can find green eyes that are the one size, they're too small. So the eyes might have to shrink, if nothing else. But
oh well.
It's frustrating. But yeah, the Loaf Cats, they're taking over my home.
I have a good stock of bracelets for Retro Nerd Fest.
Nice.
All right. Well, I think that's going to bring us to a close for this week, unless you got anything else for me.
No, I'm good.
All right. Let's see. What do we got coming up other than Retro Nerd Fest? We've got Vinland Saga tomorrow, talking about the beginning of season 2.
Oh, can't wait.
Defend this week, I do believe.
Yes. We're seeing an odd
hour on Friday, and then bringing it back around starting it on Monday with Big Dumb Monsters, Regrettable Reviews, talking about David Lynch's Dune, and then back to us on Wednesday, watching The Last Boy Scout on Defenestration Hour for anybody who is interested in some fun action.
Cool.
And of course, we will be at the next Saratoga Comic-Con. We will be at the next Mid-Hudson Comic-Con. All things a little further down the line.
Yep.
So
first weekend of May is Saratoga.
Oh, and here's our movie for BDM on Monday.
Nice.
Horror of Dracula. So things to look forward to both in the near future and the not so near future.
Yeah.
All right. So as always, thank you for fighting with us, friends. We appreciate each and every single one of you, and we will be back again next week. We will see you then. Adios, everybody.
This week's episode of the Fighting with Friends podcast was hosted by Bridget Kelly and Dr. Sarah Brooks. You can find other episodes of the podcast on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, or your other favorite listening platform. Catch us live on Twitch every Wednesday and Thursday. You can subscribe to our Twitch channels to watch our live broadcasts without ads, or donate to our Patreon for ad-free access to our entire library of past episodes and streams, as well as fun bonus content. Fighting with Friends is a member of the Big Dumb Monsters Podcast Network. Check out the links in the description for more episodes from us and from all of the shows on the network. Thanks for listening.